Greetings, fellow programmers. This is Pavel, and this is the conclusion of our turtle graphics exercise. So we have all our classes. Now we can go to our run game and put it all together. And that's gonna be very short actually, because all we need is a variable called game, which would be the object of new game. And remember, our game object by default, if we call if we create the game object, its constructor creates all the objects for pen, turtle, and game board as well. So we don't have to do it in our run game class here. So this basically instantiate the game object, and all we need to do is call the game loop, which runs the loop. And within the loop, which we did the last video, we run the whole program. We call all the necessary methods. It does all, they call their own validations, and everything is run from this game loop. And that's all we have to do here. That's it. And now, before we go, after we quit, let's just do our right line and do something like on a new line. Goodbye. Alright, so that's the final message, because our game loop runs on its own loop, so it checks itself whether it's still going on or not until we quit. When we quit, this is over, and it just comes over here and displays the final message. So this was a long program, and we never even ran it yet. I think it's time. What do you say? Alright, let's try it. Let's see what we get. So let's build this giant. Alright. Okay, it already displayed something wrong. I got these obviously wrong. So let's take care of that first. Okay, and the first thing I notice, when we draw the game board, we go through our loops, but we never, let me just run it again so you see, it just keeps going into like giant rows. That's because after it does this, we have to move to the next row, which I forgot to do, console.writeLine. So now the game board should be displayed. Okay, the game board displays correctly. Here is our X in 0, 0, that's our turtle, our commands. Pen is currently not drawing, expecting the our action, but it says invalid pen action, so it already has some kind of invalid message, so let me check that. Now, as far as for the initial message that I'm getting, that there's an invalid pen action. Let me go to pen. It says basically it goes to default and calls the invalid pen action message. But I'm setting it pen action up. But I think I need to set the actual value to them. Let me try that. Oh, yeah, that worked. Alright, so here's our form. Here's the instructions. Currently we're not drawing, so let's just move without drawing. So let's move south. So 5. So it says moving south, 5 spaces. There you go, we are there. Now let's draw. So pen down. Now it says pen is currently drawing. And move, let's move east for 10 spaces. Oh, that's not right. I mean, we moved, but this is obviously wrong. Let's try north, 4 spaces. So that north works, so east doesn't. That's 5. It's going south 10 places, so that works. 6, which would be west, 4 places, and that didn't move well. So east and west is a little out of whack. So since the directions are off, but not when I walk, only when I draw. So game board X, game board X, game board Y, and I can see now why it's not doing east and west, because it's calling the update board X, which is for north and south. For east and west, we are updating the Y. The Y. Alright, let's see that if that's going to work. Alright, so we have this. Screen is correct. Let's just move 4 spaces to the east. That's correct. Let's start drawing. So drawing down, pen down, going east, and 10 spaces. Oh, there you go. Alright, let's go south. And let's go south 25 spaces, which is too much, so we should get a message that, well, that's too much. We can only move actually 19 spaces. And we got the invalid move. You can only move 19 spaces to the south. So, alright, let's move 18 spaces to the south. So, that's that. Let's get pen up and move to the west, I don't know, 3 spaces. There you go. Pen down, and let's go west and draw 8 spaces. And let's go pen up. Let's go north, I don't know, 8 spaces. And pen down, and let's go north, another 8 spaces. And east, 4 spaces, and south, 8 spaces, and west, 4 spaces. And we have a little drawing here. Alright, so that seems to be working. Let's try an alphabet, like a character A as an option. That should say invalid input. That's correct. So let's do, let's say I'm going to draw, but I'm going to put a invalid character as the number of spaces. And again, it says invalid input. And finally, let's test 7, which should be quit. And it says goodbye. Alright, so actually, this seems to be working. So this was a long exercise, but we got it. It's all working now. So, I'm not going through it again. The code will be available for download. So feel free to, you know, put it in some breakpoints, see how the code is being executed, play with it yourself. You can move the, you know, the game board bigger, just you know, so you can get a grip on the arrays and the coordinates and all that stuff. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I know it was long, but I also hope it was helpful. I hope you liked it, and I hope if you did, that you will leave a like. Also, feel free to leave comments, and of course, share with your friends, and I will see you in the next video.